amazing crochet family. I am your one and your only Lady of Crochet, LadySamoan, and I am so excited for this video, y'all. This is, of course, I'm smiling. Y'all probably like, why is she smiling from the title of this video? Let me start there. This video is not necessarily about me, but I have been seeing so many people talk about how they wanted to take a break from crochet or anything dealing with their craft and things like that. And it just really spoke to me and it touched my heart. And I'm like, you know what? I want to really speak to those people who really feel like taking a break, because I know all too well what it feels like to have the need to take a break. So, before we get into the conversation, this will be a conversation type video. Y'all grab y'all hooks, grab y'all projects, whatever it is that you're working on, and we are going to just chill out, have a conversation amongst some crochet friends and family. If you don't crochet and you still want to be in a conversation, because I think this applies to just a lot of aspects of our lives, right? Just pick up something, and just let's listen in and let's talk about this thing. So I am going to be working a little bit. I'm gonna try, y'all, because I have this basket I'm working on here, and it's all floppy now. But I'm going to make a basket, and I'm using my little 6 marable hook, 6 millimeter, and 2 strands of yarn. And this is like a stretchy type yarn, so I think it would be perfect for a basket to hold some more yarn in. I'm making a basket to hold yarn, but I just thought it would be cool to kind of like make up a basket. So if you see my hands moving, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna try now, because I like me talking and then crocheting, like sometimes I kind of veer off. But I also have some notes on the side, so if y'all see me looking down or something like that, I want to make sure that I kind of like highlight the things that I wanted to say. So first of all, when I saw the initial post, it was by someone who is very, I would say, I guess I could say popular within the crochet community. It was on Instagram. It wasn't on YouTube. But I have seen a lot of content creators who are in crochet in other fields like get burned out. So even way before I started my YouTube journey, I was like a little bit on the fence about it, because I'm like, I don't want to get the feeling of having to be burned out or feeling like I have to keep up with certain things or have to have, like, I would say, false expectations. And a lot of times it's expectations that we place on ourselves and don't even realize that we do, because when you start, you have a passion for something, you have a love for something, and a lot of the times we look at that other people who have that same passion, that same love, who's in that same community, and sometimes we're like, okay, maybe I should be doing more of this, people wants to hear this, or we consider more so other people suggestions before what we feel. And sometimes that can cause a little bit of burnout and all kind of things. So I was a little hesitant and reluctant in the beginning, but then I made a commitment before I even started my YouTube journey. I made a commitment with myself, and my number one commitment was, I am going to do this YouTube channel and start this journey, because this is something that I love to do, and there's no expectations from anyone else. This is my love and my passion, and I'm going to do it because this is what I love to do. I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm not doing this because if I do this, I receive this. It's not that type of situation for me. This is my love. This is my passion, and I know that outside of crochet, just in general, sitting in front of this camera is going to touch lives. Crochet is just a byproduct to who I am and what I'm meant to do in the world and on this app. So I had to understand it, and I had to do that because, like I said, I seen so many videos prior to me joining of people saying how they were burnt out, and a lot of times it's because they are going, and not really taking time for itself and that's very important. So with that being said, one point that I just put a couple of things of what I see that causes a lot of people to feel like they need to take a break. Now, before I get into what causes a lot of people to have to take a break, y'all, I am 110% for if you need a break, take a break. Do not allow anything. I don't care if it's YouTube, I don't care if it's your regular job, I don't care what it is. Do not allow anything to think that you cannot take a break. Like, you're going to have to make sure that you take time for yourself. Even when your body say, "Hey, sit down," you should sit down, because I know for sure there's been moments in time with people close to me and with myself to where I knew it was time to sit down and did not sit down, and guess what? Life have a way of sitting you down when you ain't want to sit down, and you realize in those moments when you have to sit down because maybe you get sick and you cannot go to that job, or you cannot press record and do that video. You realize that even if it's a month and you have a schedule and you feel you're not meeting that schedule, you have no other choice. So in the realizing that you have no other choice and you still have to sit down, you understand then that, listen, life's gonna keep going on, like with or without you pressing record, with or without you at that job. So you have to make time for yourself. That's very important. So some of the things that causes people needing to take a break that I see a lot of times in crochet, y'all, is one of those things to where there's a lot of things that may go viral. There's a lot of people, once you start doing your 1-2, people are like, "Oh, I want you to make this, I want this." Everybody has something that they want you to do, not understanding that you do not have a machine for this thing. Your machines is literally your hands. And not only that, you have a life outside of creating things. I don't care if you make crochet your business, you still have a life to live outside of sitting and crocheting, or walking and crocheting, or taking your crochet all over the world. Whatever you do, you still have a life outside of that, and you cannot have your hook in your hand 24/7. Like, you gotta wash off, you gotta cook dinner, you gotta do all these things, right? And one thing about that I realized, now y'all can tell me in the comments below if this is something that happens with you guys, but I realized, like, for me, when it comes down to crochet, if I overdo it, I have to take a pause from it. So it's like I have to, like, pace myself, because I find, like, if I go it's like I may have this thing of, like, I gotta get this out, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, and next thing I know, a couple of days later, it's like 2-3 days in a row, I don't even feel like picking up a hook. So it's important to pace yourself, and it's important to know what you can do and what you can't do. And it's very important to be able to tell people that too. Like, I do not allow people to make me feel bad if I can not do anything, or if I can't get to what they want me to get to. And there's a lot of times where people is like, "Well, I need you to do this, and I need to buy this thing." This and it's like, listen, I'm sorry, I cannot have it to you by that day, and I'm okay with saying no. Because, listen, you have to, in order to make sure that you're maintaining your sanity and you're just maintaining your love for your craft. So one thing that they say is burnout. Like I say, burnout is it's a thing that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, because crochet, like I say, we are using our hands and we have to pace ourselves. Then some people get discouraged. They get discouraged because they start crocheting. They may see someone else who's on an app. We have a lot of social media apps. You may see someone and they're looking like they are doing, like, exceptionally well, and you're looking at yourself like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not doing as much. I don't even have the numbers to go live," or that's on TikTok, I think it is. "I don't have enough of this to do this." Like, you start comparing yourself and get discouraged because you're looking at what other content creators are doing in your genre, and you're thinking that, "Oh my goodness, I have to keep up with that." One thing that I would say, and that's why for me it was very important to make this video, is like, run your own race. Like, it is okay. It is okay. You have to understand that everybody has a journey in this thing. Like, I don't care what community you're a part of, you have a journey in that community. You're stamped in that community, and we are all on the same track, y'all. On the same track, as in, like, if we're doing track and field and we're running, we're on the same track, but we're just in different positions on that track. And that's the beautiful thing, because don't look at someone and get discouraged. You can look at someone and learn from that person. So just kind of like remember that. Like, don't necessarily look and say, oh my goodness, I'm discouraged because they got more followers or they got more things going on. There's someone who's on the same track that's a little bit further behind you, that's looking at you, and they're like, oh my goodness, I love what she's doing, I want to get to where she's at. Like, sometimes we always tend to forget that as much as you're looking at someone and thinking they're here, someone else is looking at you who's in the same field, that's like, they're routing up to you like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I've seen this person, or this person's doing this. And so never take for granted that. So getting discouraged is a thing that does happen, I understand that, but try to remember that who you're looking at and thinking is the it person, someone is looking at you feeling like you're the it person. So don't push yourself down like that. Okay, so another thing is like, that causes people to want to take a break. Some people are unsure about what they're doing, and I think that's normal. Sometimes we get unsure, because sometimes you may get unsure, like, okay, I'm creating on YouTube. Am I doing the right thing? I'm not sure if I should be doing hats. I'm not sure if I should find a niche. Like, that was a big one for me. I'm going to say I was very unsure when I first started, because I'm like, I am not a person that stays in a box, y'all. I am an outside of the box thinker. Like, listen, I don't follow no rules when it comes down to crochet, or just in general. Like, I follow rules, y'all. I'm not like, no, like, don't take that the wrong way, but I'm just talking about, like, when people say, oh, you gotta do this way and this way, I really feel like there's multiple ways that we could do this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does not have to be just this specific way. And when it comes down to crochet, that was something in the beginning I was so unsure, like, oh my goodness, I need a niche. Because when you're starting something, you hear a lot of times, you gotta have a niche, you gotta have this, you gotta have this, you gotta do it this way to do this, to this. Listen, you have to follow your heart, and you have to know your purpose, your reason for why you're doing it. And my why is bigger than understanding, like, oh, I gotta have this niche to do this, to this, to this. I just believe in a different set of rules. I'm sorry. And I feel like I am going to get exactly where I'm supposed to get, and I'm going to do exceptionally well, exceedingly well in crochet, in YouTube with crochet, in the crochet community. Like, yo, I understand, like, it takes time, and I know that my purpose aligns with my crochet. And knowing that is not going to look the typical way of how it looks for everybody else. So be unsure is a thing, and I'm not taking away from you being unsure. I would say, if you are unsure about what it is you're doing, or even starting it, or whatever, take a deep breath and ask yourself, why are you starting this thing? Or even if you're already in it, you have to ask yourself, like, okay, where do I see myself going? How does this align to with who I am and why I actually start? What do I want to do within this community? And you will actually understand and realize, like, excuse me, everyone have, people can tell you what you should do, but in reality, everyone have a certain path that they are going to go on. And I don't care if 100 people are on that same track. That don't mean we're gonna turn that curve at the same time. That don't mean when we turn the curve, it's gonna be the same. Like, we gonna feel it the same because the curve is the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like everybody's journey is just so different. There's different obstacles, there's different things. So we have a foundation, like, of how things possibly could go, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna go that way for you. And honestly, I believe in miracles, y'all. So when I believe in miracles, that's mean I believe that anything can happen at any point in time. And guess what? We can shift what may have happened for somebody. I could be that one person to where it happens a different way. So that's just me. So when you're unsure, it's a thing that is, I understand that happens, but just ask yourself those few questions. So another thing is that when you're selling your patterns or your products, some people feel like what they're doing is not selling. Y'all, I'm not going to discredit y'all on that at all. What I would say for me personally, that's why I said when I started this thing in this crochet community, in this crochet journey on YouTube, just in life in general, I started putting myself out, right? I told myself, if I sell one item, I will be so happy because I know that I put my love in that one item and someone is getting a piece of my love. So for me, I did not put any false expectations on myself that made me like, if I sell, then I gotta get this to sell this. I did not make my crochet one of those things to where it was a requirement. Let's say that. I did not make it a requirement in my life. I made it and I'm keeping it a love in my life. And I know some people feel like, no, 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 I gotta sell this, I gotta do this. And that's totally fine. If you wanna start your crochet business and you wanna do this, that's fine. But also understand, then this goes with any business. You're gonna have good days and you're gonna have not so good days. So you have to plan and prepare for the good just as well as you have to plan and prepare for the not so good. So don't forget that, because sometimes we tend to kind of go here and then it's going out the roof. But then when we kind of get here, it's almost like, oh my goodness, I should never did this. Why is this right here? That's the point where you have to understand that you're going to have this up and down days, and it's okay, because crochet is it's like something can go viral in a crochet community and you have 100 orders, and then you have something like a season change, and then you have a lot of orders. So just understand your market. Understand when you are going a direction of selling your patterns and selling like your product, understand your market. That will help a lot with you not feeling like tired or wanting to give up on your craft. And one other thing that I put down was that I put, sometimes we have to remember that to not really feel like burned out and all that, remember to follow your heart. Like sometimes you would chase something and what you're chasing was never meant for you, and you don't understand it because you saw a thing, you're like, hey, I want to do this because it wasn't no clear goal of why you wanted to do it, and you find yourself getting burnt out quicker because you may see someone else did it, or you may see like, oh, I can do this, so I would da 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 da. And next thing you know, you find yourself chasing this thing, and you're not even attracting anything from that community or that thing to come to you because it looks like more so desperation. You want to make sure that when you're doing something, especially with your crochet, you want to do it out the love, because I feel when you do it from the love, people are going to see you more, you know what I'm saying, than when you're actually trying to just ha, and we all have a different lane in this thing. Understand that, like, there's so many people making so much of the same things. There's so many people making so many unique different things. Like, but we have to understand too that what's meant for someone is meant for them, and what's meant for you is meant for you. We have to understand that the crochet community is such a big community, y'all. This thing is like huge. And you may learn something like you may say, hey, this person over here in South Carolina is doing this. I can't do it because this person in New York is doing this. Like, we have to kind of like take those little false narratives out of our mind a lot of times and just do you. Do what you love to do, and I promise people will come. They will come to you, but you have to do it at the kindness of your heart. You have to make sure this is something that you want to do. But to end this video, I really wanted to say that if you are someone who is feeling the burnout, if you're feeling like you need to take a break, take a break. Like, it is okay to take a break. Your community is going to be there when you come back. Like, when I take a break within, like, if I say, hey, y'all, in my household, if I say, listen, I'm not going to cook today, I don't feel well today, whoop the woo, guess what? When I wake up the next day, my kids and my husband, my family, everybody's going to love on me the same way that they loved on me before me taking a break. So don't never think that if you have to take a break, your community will not be there. Because if you pour your heart out into this thing and you really respect the people who respect you and who come to your channel. I love my crochet community. I feel like y'all are family. I feel like that's why we can have these talks. You know, I don't care. I live by the whole thing. If it's one or two, we can still do this thing. Like, some people look at it like, oh my goodness, I may lose half of it. Listen, you're not going to lose anyone who was meant for you. So understand that. If you have to take a break, there's going to be people who will sit there and wait for you after your break. And if anyone leaves, that is okay, because guess what? They're making room for more people to come who is aligning to the thing that you're doing now. I said a lot in this video, and I hope that it can help someone, y'all. I feel so good. Like I said, I seen it and I'm like, I want to talk about this. Y'all, I ain't crochet a dang on thing. I talked all that and did not crochet a thing, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm sorry. My video kind of cut off in the middle, so we're going to pick right back up. But I'm going to end this thing. I hope that y'all really enjoyed this video. I'm going to still pull from my inspirational jar. Even though I felt like I said a lot of stuff throughout this one, there's still a message that needs to be had at the end. And let's see what this message says. It says, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. That is perfect way to end this video. I tell y'all, every time we pull from that inspiration jar, it aligns. And y'all can see I fold everything up. So picking that just lets you know this message aligns so perfectly for this video. If you are feeling burned out, if you're feeling that you need to take a break, take the break. But also remember to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Always remember, y'all, that I am your one and your only Lady of Crochet, Lady Samoan, and I will see you next time.